Good morning. Last class we have discussed circulation in animals. So many topics we have discussed. Today we are going to discuss about nervous system. So listen carefully and learn. Now we are going to discuss about nervous system. What is nervous system? A network of nerve cells and fibers which transmits nerve impulses between different parts of the body. What is nervous system? Network of nerve cells and fibers which transmits nerve impulses between different parts of the body. This is known as nervous system. In biology, nervous system is a highly complex part of an animal that coordinates its actions and sensory information by transmitting signals to and from different parts of the body. So this nervous system is made up of nervous tissues. Nervous system is made up of nervous tissues. It is formed of three distinct components. The nervous system, the nervous tissues is formed of three distinct components. They are neurons, neuroglial cells and nerve fibers. So three components are present. First one is the neuron. This is a neuron. So this neuron or nerve cell, another one name also there, nerve cell, neuron or nerve cell. It is a structural and functional unit of the nervous system. So this neuron is the structural and functional unit of the nervous system. It is the longest cell of the human body with a length of over 100 μm. It is the longest cell. So this neuron is the longest cell of the human body. The length is 100 μm. These cells are highly specialized to detect, receive and transmit different kinds of stimuli. So these neurons only specialized to detect, receive and transmit the impulses. So all the impulses, this neuron receives and transmit the impulses. Information is conducted through neurons in the form of electrical impulses from one part of the body to another part. So these impulses in the form of electrical impulses. So these impulses from one parts of the body to another parts of the body through which region? Through the neuron. Neuron only conduct the impulses. So this is the first one. Second one is neuroglia or glial cells. Neuroglia or glial cells. So it is otherwise known as neuroglial cells. These cells are the helper cells. So these glial cells or neuroglial cells are the helper cells. They support the neuron more glials than neurons. So these cells, glial cells, support the neuron. They do not initiate or conduct nerve impulses. These glial cells cannot or do not initiate or conduct nerve impulses. These are the supportive neurons, supportive cells. So these cells involved in the nutrition and maintenance of the nerve cells. It involves in the nutrition and maintenance of the nerve cells. So this is the neuron. See, these are the glial cells. Different types of glial cells also present. So it is a supportive cells. Then third one is the nerve fiber. This is the nerve fiber. The nerve fibers are the long slender processes of neurons. So this is the nerve fiber. It is the long slender processes of neurons. So a number of nerve fibers are bundled up together to form nerves. So this is a single nerve fiber. This is a single nerve fiber. So these nerve fibers combine together and form nerves. So this is the afferent nerve. This is the efferent nerve. Understood? So three types of tissues are present in the nervous system. They are neurons. Second one is the glial cells. Third one is the nerve fiber. Clear? Structure of neuron. Objective: to learn the structure of a neuron. We tend to think the nervous system primarily as having to which stimuli response, but it also works to control and coordinate the functions of the body. The nervous system is composed of billions of cells called neurons. These tiny cells carries the messages of the body in the form of electrical signals known as impulses. Electrical signals known as impulses. Structure of a neuron. A neuron typically consists of four main parts. A neuron typically consists of four main parts. First part is known as cell body. This is cell body. First part is known as cell body. Second one is known as dendrites. Second one is the dendrite. Third one is axon. Fourth one is axon terminals. So these are the four parts present in the axon. Dendrite, cell body, axon and axon terminals. One by one we are going to see now. So first part is known as cyton or cell body. This is the cyton or cell body. The cyton is also called cell body or perikaryon or soma. Cyton is known as cell body, perikaryon or soma. It has a central nucleus. So this is the nucleus. It has a central nucleus with abundant cytoplasm called neuroplasm. This region is filled with cytoplasm. So that is known as what? Neuroplasm. The cytoplasmic region is known as neuroplasm. The cytoplasm has large granular body called Nissl granules. In the cytoplasmic region, granules are present. These granules are known as Nissl granules. Not only the Nissl granules, some of the cell organelles also present. They are mitochondria, ribosomes, lysosomes and endoplasmic reticulum. So these are the cell organelles also present in the Nissl granules or cytoplasmic region. These neurons do not have the ability to divide. These neurons, they don't have the ability to divide. So in this region, some more neurofibrils also present. So first I told Nissl granules are present, then mitochondria, ribosomes, lysosomes and endoplasmic reticulum. These are the organelles also present. Now one more thing, that is the neurofibrils also present in the cytoplasmic region. So what is the use of this neurofibrils? That transmit the nerve impulses to and from the cell body. So these neurofibrils transmit the nerve impulses to and from the cell body. Have you understood? Yes? Nucleus, cytoplasmic region. Okay, so all the cell organelles, some of the cell organelles also present in that region. So conduct the nerve impulses. So next part, second part, that is known as dendrites. These are dendrites. So these are the numerous branch cytoplasmic processes that project from the surface of cell body. So these processes project from the surface of the cell body. So these are known as dendrites. So these dendrites conduct nerve impulses towards the cyton. So these dendrites conduct the nerve impulses towards the cyton. The branch projections, these branch projections increase the surface area for receiving the signals from other nerve cells. So these dendrites receive the signals or impulses from other nerve cells. So that is the main function of these dendrites. So first, these dendrites conduct nerve impulses towards the cyton. Second one, receive the signals from other nerve cells. Clear? Now, the third part, that is known as axon. This region, this is the axon region. So this axon is a single as well as elongated slender projection. Axon is a single, elongated and slender projection. The end of axon terminates as fine branches which terminate into knob-like swellings called synaptic knobs. So at the end of the axon, swellings are present. So knob-like swellings, these swellings are known as synaptic knobs. These swellings are known as synaptic knobs. Now the plasma membrane of axon is called axolemma. So a plasma membrane means outer covering. So that outer covering of axon is known as axolemma, while the cytoplasm is called axoplasm. So inside that cytoplasmic region is present. That cytoplasm is known as axoplasm. So outer region is the axolemma, and inside that is known as axoplasm. So this axon carries impulses away from the cyton. So this axon carries impulses away from the cyton. So now the axon may be covered by, so this is the covering, covered by a protective sheet. This is a protective sheet. That protective sheet is known as myelin sheet. So this axon is covered by a protective sheet. That protective sheet is known as myelin sheet, which is further covered by a layer of Schwann cells called neurilemma. So further this myelin sheet is divided into some other layer. That layer of cells are known as Schwann cells. That Schwann cells are known as neurilemma. Together that is a neurilemma. Now this myelin sheet breaks at intervals. This is a myelin sheet. This myelin sheet breaks at intervals by depressions called node of Ranvier. See, this is the intervals, in first interval, second, third, like that intervals also present. So these intervals are known as nodes of Ranvier. The intervals are known as nodes of Ranvier. Now the region between the nodes are called internode. First node, second node. So the in between the junction or gap between the nodes are known as internodes. The gap between the nodes are called internodes. This myelin sheet, this is a myelin sheet, is it? So this myelin sheet acts as insulator and ensure rapid transmission of nerve impulses. So these myelin sheet transmit nerve impulses, rapid transmission of nerve impulses. Clear? Then last part, that is the axon terminals or terminal buttons. Axon terminals or terminal buttons. At the end of the axon, this axon terminal is present or terminal buttons. See, a junction between synaptic knob, this is a synaptic knob of axon of one neuron and dendron of next neuron is called synaptic junction. So what is synaptic junction? A junction between synaptic knob of axon of one neuron and dendron of next neuron is called as synaptic junction. So this information from one neuron can pass to another neuron through these junctions with the release of chemicals known as neurotransmitters from the synaptic knob. So during the transmission, during the information transmit, at that time one chemical releases. That chemical is known as neurotransmitters. So the junction, these junctions, synapse, that junction release one chemical that is known as neurotransmitters. Have you all understood? Yes? Next one is types of neurons. So here, on the basis of structure, the neurons are classified into three types. On the basis of the structure, neurons are classified into three types. The first one is unipolar neurons, second one is bipolar neurons, third one is the multipolar neurons. So these are the three types of neurons. So one by one we have to see. First one is unipolar neuron. Uni means only one, single. only one nerve process arises from the cyton which acts as both axon and dendron. So this is a cyton. From the cyton one nerve process arises. So this is a nerve process. One nerve process arises from the cyton which acts as both axon and dendron. So it acts as both axon and dendron. That is known as unipolar neuron. Second one is bipolar neuron. Bi meaning two. The cyton gives rise to two nerve process. This is a cyton. It gives rise to two nerve process. This side one, this side one. Which one acts as an axon while another acts as an dendron. So one side acts as an dendron and another side acts as an axon. The third type is known as multipolar neuron. This is a multipolar neuron. The cyton gives rise to many dendrons and an axon. This is a cyton region. The cyton gives rise to many dendrons. Many dendrites are present. And another one side, axon. So the cyton gives rise to many dendrons and one axon. That is known as multipolar neurons. So these are the three types of neurons on the basis of structure. Now we have to see where these neurons are present. So first one, unipolar neurons. So these unipolar neurons are found in early embryos. It is found in only in the early embryos. Second one, bipolar neurons. So these bipolar neurons are found in retina of eye and olfactory epithelium of nasal chambers. So it is found in the retina of eye and olfactory epithelium of nasal chambers. Then third one, multipolar neurons are found in cerebral cortex of brain. It is found in the cerebral cortex of brain. So these neurons are present only in the particular areas. Have you all understood? On the basis of functions, neurons are categorized as three types. On the basis of functions, already I taught on the basis of structure, neurons are classified into three types. They are unipolar neurons, bipolar neurons and multipolar neurons. This is on the basis of functions. Neurons are classified into three types. They are sensory or afferent neurons. Number 2, motor or efferent neurons. Number 3, association neurons. So on the basis of functions, neurons are classified into three: sensory or afferent neurons, motor or efferent neurons, association neurons. First one, sensory or afferent neurons. These neurons carry impulses from the sense organ to the central nervous system. From the sense organ to the central nervous system. The neurons carry impulses from the sense organ to the central nervous system. Number 2, motor or efferent neurons. These neurons carry impulses from the central nervous system to effector organ. Just opposite. Here from the sense organ to the central nervous system. Here from the central nervous system to effector organ, such as muscle fiber or the gland. Third one is association neurons. These neurons conduct impulses between sensory and motor neurons, between the sensory neurons and the motor neurons, association in between. So these neurons conduct impulses between the sensory and motor neurons. So on the basis of functions, three types of neurons are present. Have you all understood? Yes. So next one is neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters. So when I am teaching structure of a neuron, I taught this neurotransmitters. That is a chemical. Neurotransmitter is a chemical. Okay, so neurotransmitters are the chemicals which allow the transmission of nerve impulse from the axon terminal of one neuron to the dendron of another neuron or to an effector organ. So that is a chemical. So in which region produce this neurotransmitter? Synaptic knob. Synaptic knob at the end of the axon. axon terminal is present. At the tip of the axon terminal, synaptic knobs are present. So that axon, that synaptic knobs produce neurotransmitters. That is a chemical. So the main important neurotransmitter is acetylcholine. The main important neurotransmitter is acetylcholine. So these neurotransmitters allow the transmission of nerve impulse. So it allows the transmission of nerve impulse from the axon terminal. Axon terminal means that is the tip of the axon, that axon terminal of one neuron to the dendron of another neuron. So to the axon terminal to another neurons, dendron of another neuron. Okay, that is the it transmit the impulses. So the main important neurotransmitter released by neuron is called acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is the main important neurotransmitter. Clear? So that is a neurotransmitter, is a chemical which allow the transmission of nerve impulse from one axon terminal to another neuron's dendron region. Okay, transmit it, conduct. Clear? Now we are going to see types of nerve fibers. Types of nerve fibers. Nerve fibers are of two types based on the presence or absence of myelin sheath. So these nerve fibers are classified into two types based on the presence or absence of myelin sheath. They are myelinated nerve fiber. Number one is myelinated nerve fiber. The axon is covered with myelin sheath. The axon is covered with myelin sheath. See in this diagram, two diagram. So this is the myelinated nerve fiber. The axon is covered with the myelin sheath. See this area, this is a myelin sheath. So the axon is covered with the myelin sheath. So this is known as myelinated nerve fiber. Second one is non-myelinated nerve fiber. Non-myelinated nerve fiber. The axon is not covered by myelin sheath. The axon is not covered by myelin sheath in this diagram. So here this area is known as axon, but here there is no myelin sheath. So this is known as non-myelinated nerve fiber. So this is the myelinated nerve fiber. This is the non-myelinated nerve fiber. This myelinated and non-myelinated nerve fibers form the white and grey matter of the brain. So these two myelinated nerve fibers, myelinated and non-myelinated nerve fibers form the white and grey matter of the brain. So types of nerve fibers, two types, myelinated nerve fiber and the non-myelinated nerve fiber. Myelinated nerve fiber, myelin sheath is present. Here there is no myelin sheath. Clear? Okay.